The manufacturing edge, where ops leaders break barriers, drive growth, and redefine what's possible. Part 3 of the Back to Basics series gets practical, breaking down the non-negotiables for execution and showing that real speed comes from discipline and clarity, not constant firefighting.
Let's jump a little bit. If you could think about what are the 1 or 2 solid basic things that if you could get factories and groups to execute on about daily management, visibility, problem solving, what would it be? What would you say, look, get these 1 or 2 things really right, hone the sword on those, and you'll see good progress? What would those be?
Lead from the front. For leaders to be present in the Gemba where the action is. I was told by a mentor many years ago in my first plant manager role, you're not going to solve the problems from the office. And so getting out into the manufacturing space, pressing the flesh, as it were, in not only the people, because they will have a lot of valuable information for you, but into the processes. Leading from the front, I think, is something I'd like to see a lot of companies and leaders in those companies change. An example is just started working with a client, and the CEO, his office is in a quiet part of the plant, but his office is in the plant. He's not up in the front office, in the corner office. And, I remarked to him, I said, that's remarkable. I don't see that very often. So kudos to him. He'll probably listen to this, but that's the kind of leadership I think companies need.
Yeah, and next to that, one element I would add as part of what we call a solid management system is just managing on an hour by hour, day by day, what we would call short interval control. But most importantly, record your plan versus actual on every level in the organization, within your manufacturing. A lot of companies, they have an abundance of data, but it's raw data and it's not connected to what was the plan to produce this hour and what is the actual. And the variance is typically the biggest element that is a driver for opportunities. So managing that day by day, hour by hour is on the shop floor is an element. So similar to what David, to add on, it's really the active supervision that is needed on hour by hour, day by day, plan versus actual.
Alberto, what about you?
I'm going to say something very simple. That is trust in your people. I think in Mexico or in the Latin American region still exists a belief that the boss knows everything. And I think that basic and that fundamental routine is ask your people, go to the Gemba, trust in them, ask them, organize conversations so you can understand from the bottom what they are looking at, how they think we can improve a process. I think this is something very simple, but there is some kind of arrogance and huge kind of egos in certain type of leaders or supervisors that they think that they are the ones who know everything.
Interesting point, Alberto. So this is a question or confirmation for all of you. In how many cases have you seen in factories or operation supply chains where people wake up during the day or wake up before they come to work and say, I'm going to go to work today and see just how poorly I can perform? Do you think that happens?
No. Everybody wants to have a good day.
I think statistics would tell us that's a very small number.
If any, right? I mean,
yeah.
So
it's interesting you mentioned that. Sorry to jump in on that. It's how often we hear this story actually from leaders that we speak to. And then what you just phrased, Bill, is we put that back to them and then everybody says, no, that's not what's happening. But I might be managing out of that perspective. And that's a massive insight. Like they realize I'm managing improperly because nobody's working like that.
Yeah. So if you pose that to people, it's like, well, how many people in your team, when you look in your factory or your organization, how many people do you think wake up and say, I'm going to go in and just really underperform today? So if that's not true, then back to Alberto's point, and this to me, and not only intellectually, but observationally from what I've seen over all the years, is when you go talk to people and you just go talk to someone out in the front lines and ask, well, what are you working on? What really works well? What do you struggle with? What gets in the way of you really doing the work well, they know very clearly. And I would say, if we go back to when we did a lot more Kaizen events, that was the beauty of running Kaizen events. When we got to day 2 and started really brainstorming the issues and documenting them with the proper tools and methodologies, they all knew what was going on. They knew exactly what the problems were. And they had pretty good ideas how to solve them. And if you could harness that, focus it, the improvements become really, frankly, very easy. And you can generally take a step forward quickly by just releasing the thinking and the ability to change the process into people that run the process, that work in it. And they even recognize when, look, we all know that between first shift, second shift, we both do it different. We know that's not smart. And they know that they need to standardize it. So it's an interesting concept. I want to jump back to something one of you mentioned about data, having lots of data. And I think, David, you may have used this analogy. So if we're going to bake a cake or we're going to make a recipe for dinner, when we go to our kitchens and the cabinet of spices and flavorings, I have lots of them. It's just like I have lots of data. But do I need all of it to make the recipe I'm trying to make today? And we know the answer is no. So if we have all this extra data and we're spending money to gather more data, isn't there an element of thinking about, but which data really most significantly influences the process and the recipe?
Usually it's just a few data points is what's needed to control or manage the process. Having many data points, just like having many KPIs is the same, if not worse than having none, because it's a smoke screen. I can't see what I really need to see because of all this data that's coming at me. And I think it's because I can get that data does not mean that's the right data to get. And I think some planning our way into what are the key KPIs and what are the key data points I need to drive those KPIs to create the right level of visualization is fundamentally important. Being able to get data off, 100 different points in the plant is probably not going to be the right answer. Getting the right 4 could be.
Right. So Andre or Alberto, what's your reaction to that or thoughts in that process?
I can only concur. I fully agree with what David just mentioned. Lots of companies, they have lots of data, just don't know how to structure it and how to use it. And that's what typically, through a collaborative approach, this can be identified and bring it back to basics. And I think that's the general theme of this conversation. It's going back to basics. You don't need 100 performance indicators to know, did you produce plan versus actual, coming back to that point. Having lots of data, but not knowing where they stack up. So really having clearly defined what your plan is and what is your actual output. Very simple measure. You can drill that down to the lowest level of piece of equipment up to your bottleneck, and you can bring it up to your plant level. If you just start measuring that and driving that, it brings me back to the point we mentioned earlier about people want to do a good job. A big part of this KPI and data point missing is the people on the lines don't even know what they have to produce, which their point B that they need to get to, which is the point they want to realize today. Do I need to produce 10 widgets per hour or 100? And if that's not known, then for sure the outcome will be different.
Right.
So back to basics.
I'm going to give you my answer with the following, the way we work. It is amazing the tons of data that the clients are sitting on, but they haven't been able to analyze it. So when we do a Kaizen, as you were mentioning in the second day, when we are drafting the map of the end-to-end processes, and there's a lot of data that the clients prepare in advance in the pre-work, they realize that they were having the answers in front of them if they work with appropriate data. Fewer the better. And I think the clients just need to focus on what is really important and realize and take a look on what they currently have, and they can be impressed that they have the answers. Only they have to do is to work with the data in the appropriate way.
Yeah, so it's interesting. One of the observations I've had and we see is people want more data. They think they need more data to be effective. But one piece of data that everyone has, one data set that everyone has is their customer orders, what their customers are telling them they want and when they want it. And if you think about that, we run into this frequently where people struggle to give us that data, to share it, to even understand it, and it's underanalyzed and underutilized. And then to me, Andre, it goes back to your point of, well, how do I align what the customers are telling me they want in the quantities they want it, when they want it, with what am I supposed to execute on every day? And making that clear to the organization so that we truly know we're fulfilling customer demand and satisfying our customers. And underlying in that is getting a repeatable, stable output or performance day by day that I know whether I'm fully able to meet customer demand or not, but I at least know from an execution standpoint, I can repeatably deliver this much every day. It seems oversimplified, and perhaps it is, but if you start there and say, well, what are my customers? What is the market asking me for? How can I convey that to the team clearly to deliver on? And what do I have to do to make it possible for them to do that? It seems easy, but oftentimes I think that is one of the bigger challenges that we run into.
Pardon the U.S. sports analogy, but it's kind of akin to playing NFL football. We've got a backyard football offensive strategy. Everybody go out and we'll throw a pass. Well, that ain't going to work in the NFL, right? And getting everybody aligned to, what does the play need to be to support that customer demand? And everybody has a job to do, and building the skill sets to do that job well, whether it's block, whether it's running the right routes, those kind of things are important. And I think the data is important. Having the right processes to interpret that data, be it demand data or process data, is important, but it also comes back to the skills of the people to do something with it.
Tune in to part 4 of the series, Leadership at the Point of Impact.